Hi everyone, it's week 5. Only 2 more weeks left. I hope you're enjoying all the books you are receiving in the mail. I've been trying my best to try to read every night before bed. I know it's hard sometimes, especially during the summer, but it's super important to read books that you love. Try to make your goal with your family or even make one by yourself. My goal is to read one chapter of my book each night before bed. Maybe your goal will be the same. Maybe your family will each set their own reading goal. You can set how many days you want to read, or minutes, or even types of books. There are many different ways to set a reading goal. That's the fun part about it. I would love it if you shared your goal with me. It's okay if you don't reach your goal every time, but it is important that you try and you check back in each week to see how you did. If you did reach your goal, you should set a new one. I can't wait to hear all of your goals. This week, our goal is to understand what text features are and how to use them. Do you know what types of books most text features show up in? That's right, nonfiction. Nonfiction refers to literature based in fact. This can include books in many categories, including biography, business, cooking, health and fitness, pets, crafts, home decorating, languages, travel, home improvement, religion, art, music, history, self-help, science, humor, and so many more. Nonfiction books are full of text features. Have you ever read a nonfiction book? What was it about? Why did you read that specific book? Were you trying to learn how to do something new or to get more information about a certain topic? Text features give us important information about a specific topic. These features also help us understand the text better and make it fun to read. There are many different types of text features and they each have their own job. An example of a text feature is a heading. Headings tell us what we are going to read about. Can you think of any other text features? Tell someone nearby or comment below with all of the text features you can think of. I want to review with you all sorts of different text features and how they help us when reading nonfiction text. I'm going to flip the camera around so you can see some examples, and you might even notice that they're some of the ones that you came up with. Hang tight. Okay, one of the first text features that we will go over is the index. The index is usually found near the back of a book. Index says alphabetical listing of the terms, events, key names, and topics with page numbers. Readers use the index to help find information they are looking for. So if you are reading a book about amphibians, you want to know about their skin shedding, you can look under S and find shed is on pages 14 and 21. Index is super helpful when you are looking for something specific. Another text feature is the table of contents. The table of contents shows the heading and the page number it can be found on. So in a book about frogs, you can see different chapters and what pages they start on. This is similar to the index where if you're looking for something specific, you can go right to that page. Another text feature is a diagram. It is a drawing that shows the parts of something. So in our example, here's a rocket, and it shows different parts. So this back part is the external tank. We can have solid rocket boosters are here, and then this is the orbiter. So diagrams can show many different things. I've seen them showing ships, landforms, all different things. We can have bold print. You might be really familiar with this one. I see it a lot in nonfiction books. It is words that are written with thick, heavy lines, and these indicate importance. So really important words. The human body is made of many different parts. The skeleton is made of all the bones in the body and gives the body its shape. Muscles and tendons make the body's bones move. The skin covers all of the body's bones, muscles, and organs. Usually, if a word is in bold print, you can either find it in the glossary or sometimes even the index or table of contents, but mostly the glossary. Which is up next. Glossary alphabetically lists new or important words and tells what they mean. So if we go back to bold print and we didn't know what skin is, I can look in the glossary to see what skin is. Right there it is, skin, the outer layer of tissue that covers the entire body. There are many other different words, and usually they are bolded in the book. It's kind of like a mini dictionary. In nonfiction books, you can have maps. Maps are pictures that show the location of the topic being discussed. So here we have a map of the United States, and if we look real close, it has blue dots all over it, and it's showing NASA centers and facilities. So all the blue dots are showing where there's a NASA center. And we can see there's actually 2 in Ohio, which is pretty cool. Nonfiction books always, or a lot of times, include photographs instead of drawings or illustrations, but sometimes they can, like with the diagram. But most of the time they include photographs, which are pictures taken with a camera that shows how things look in real life. Another text feature is labels. Labels are words that tell you about a specific part of the picture or diagram. You may have had to label a picture before in school. This is a telescope, and it's pointing to all the different parts. So we have the eyepiece, the counterweight, the tube, and the primary mirror. I know in 3rd grade we have labeled parts of a butterfly, or we have labeled life cycles before. And going back, this kind of reminds me of the diagram too. Okay, so a diagram shows the different parts, but the labels are the words, and they are pointing to where it's at. We can have a close-up, which is a picture or illustration that zooms in to show a closer view of an object. So right here we have a picture of the moon, and if we have a close-up, it just zooms into that specific part that it circled, and this is what it looks like up close. As you can see, this is a photo. We can have charts and graphs. They show information in a visual way so that readers can understand it better. So here it's giving an example of national frog extinction threat. So the light green is an extinction threat. I kind of wish this had a percentage so we could see how much exactly. Blue is a near threat, yellow insufficient data, and dark green is no threat. And you can see the dark green is more than 50% because it's over half. You might see other types of charts and graphs too. We could have a bar graph. This is a pie chart. You could have a line plot. Many different types. Earlier on in the video, I talked about what a heading was, but you can also have a subheading. So subheadings divide the text into sections. It tells the main idea of each section. It's printed in bold or large fonts. Helps the reader locate information in the text. So if this is an excerpt taken from a book, Life on ISS, this would be the heading. And these littler ones that are still bolded are the subheadings. So it's going to tell us about our morning routine and also eating in space. So morning routine. Astronauts get up, go to the bathroom, and take a shower just like everyone on Earth. The only difference is that they use a toilet that acts as a vacuum, and they wash their hair with special shampoo that doesn't have to be rinsed out with water. Pretty cool, I didn't know that. Eating in space. Did you know that there are no refrigerators on the space station? Astronauts have to eat food that won't spoil. They can use ketchup and mustard, but they can't use salt or pepper because the granules would just float away. Another text feature is a caption. Captions are the words near a picture that explains what it is or what it's about. So here is a picture here. You can see it's a little frog. It says, "This is a tiny frog sitting on a bicycle seat." You may have noticed these in books before, but if you haven't, go ahead and find a nonfiction book and try to find a picture and see if it has a caption either underneath it or sometimes it'll be on the side. And it usually tells you what the picture is about. It might even include dates or more information. Captions are super important, so don't skip over those when you're reading, okay? Because they'll give you a lot more information that you need to know. Another text feature is a timeline. A timeline is a chart that shows events in the order that they happened. So often they will include dates. This example is the modern solar system discoveries. So the 14th century is the first one that happens on this timeline. Then we have the 18th century, the 19th century, and the 20th century. So it goes from left to right, just like we read a book, left to right. So from the oldest to the most current. You can make your own timeline of your life. You can make a timeline of when you were in school. Many different things to make a timeline for. I wanted to include some text features that you could see on books online. So if you read on Epic or any other sites that offer nonfiction books, you might see an electronic menu. So this is a list of things you can choose from on the computer. So yes, these are text features as well. So if I'm on the Space Place website.com, .org, there are usually little buttons where you can click and then find different pages. So if I click on planets, I'm going to see all these other links that I can click on. So I could click on Earth to learn more about Earth, or I could click on Saturn. And then if I click on Pluto, it could tell me statistics about it, history, it could give me pictures, and even a quiz. So menus are very prominent when you are on the internet. Super helpful. And our last one is icons. This is another thing that you have probably seen on your phone or iPad, even computers. Icons are small graphics like pictures or symbols that stand for a website, app, or another electronic purpose. Looking at this example, can you name any of these icons? If you can, I want you to comment them below. Why are icons important? Just a little picture. I'm pretty sure that this one is Facebook. Like, dislike, love, throw something away, garbage can. We have Instagram, we have volume. I don't know what some of these other ones are. A printer. They help us find things quickly. And if we click on them, it takes us right to that app or website. Can you think of any other text features? I know we went over a whole bunch, but I know that there's a lot more. So if I forgot one, or you can think of more, please comment below or let me know, and I'll try to make a little chart and go over that with you in our next video. Okay, let me flip this camera back around so we can talk about vocabulary words. During our book this week, I want you to be on the lookout for different text features. So make sure that you're looking for things like maps, index, table of contents, bold words, glossary, and we went over many more. So while we're reading, I want you to see if you can find any. I also want to review some vocabulary words before we begin. If you want, you can grab some index cards or a piece of paper and make your own flashcards. You'll need something to write with, marker, color pencil, doesn't matter. The book that we will be reading together this week is a National Geographic Kids book called Tigers, and it's written by Laura Marsh. If you receive this book in the mail, you can flip to the very last page and follow along as we review and discuss some important vocabulary words. Remember, it helps to preview vocabulary words before reading the book because it will help us understand what the text is about. You can skim or flip through a book before reading. Okay, so just flip through it quickly. Write down any words that look unfamiliar. You can ask a family member or a friend what they mean, or even look them up on a device. That way you're prepared and will know what the word means when you actually start reading. It's a great strategy to use. Okay, so I flipped through this book and I found a couple vocabulary words that looked unfamiliar. So I wrote them down and we're going to go over them before reading this book. I'm going to flip this around so you can see our words and the pictures that I have to go with it. Okay, our first vocabulary word is endangered. Means at risk of dying out. Can you think of any animals that are endangered? If you can't, I want you to hop on Google and type in endangered animals and see what comes up, and I bet you'll be surprised. Our next word is habitat. The place where a plant or animal naturally lives. Territory. An area that an animal protects from other animals. You might have pets at home that are territorial. Camouflage. I bet you've heard this word before and know what it means. It is an animal's natural color or form that blends in with what it is around. I want you to comment below or tell somebody nearby, can you think of something else that is camouflage? Either an animal or a plant. My first thought was a chameleon. I know they can change to blend in with their surroundings. Extinct. A group of animals no longer living. Obviously from the picture we know that dinosaurs aren't around any longer and they are extinct. If you did get on Google and type in endangered animals, try typing in extinct animals too and see what comes up. And our last vocabulary word is prey. An animal that is being eaten by another animal. Do you know the word for the animals that end up eating the animal that they're hunting? Right, we have a predator, that is the hunter, and the prey is the hunted. After hearing all of our vocabulary words, I want you to make a prediction to what you think the story is going to be about. What will we learn about tigers? Remember, try to use one of our vocabulary words in your prediction and use complete sentences. So, for example, I predict the text will be about, you finish the rest. Tell someone nearby your prediction or write it in the comments. Make sure you're specific. Don't just tell me I predict that the book will be about tigers. I know it's going to be about tigers. Okay, that's the title. But what about tigers? Look at our vocabulary words. What is it? What are we going to learn about? Okay, I can't wait to see all of your predictions. See you in video 2.